Hey, good morning, friends. It is Julie Hamilton with Life Builders. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you've had an awesome week, and it's time to talk about 5 tools that we can use to interrupt anxiety. The easiest way to do this is just to read you from the ebook that I wrote. I just went into my website and made it free for everyone to download. The website is lifebuildersbyjuliehamilton.com, and you can go into my store and find the ebook and download it for free. But I decided to write this ebook because of my experience with anxiety and panic attacks, and I was diagnosed with a lifetime diagnosis of panic disorder. And yet, here I stand today. I wanted you to know that there is hope. If you're dealing with anxiety, there is hope. And there are some tools that you can put into your toolbox, and then you can pull them out at the time that you need them. So the best way to tell you is just to read you my story. So here is the book. This is what it looks like. Actually, it's kind of a big version of it, but I'm just going to start off and read this to you. It was 3:30 a.m. on a night filled with lightning and thunder, and I found myself curled in the fetal position in the middle of the bathroom rug, gasping for air like a fish out of water. My poor husband was trying his best to comfort me, but all I could say between frantic, hyperventilating breath was, "I don't want to die." I thought I was dying, but if you've ever had this, you probably know what it was. It was my first panic attack. I'd never felt this way before. I literally thought I was dying. But yet, here I stood. This was my introduction to the journey of dealing with anxiety and panic disorder. I don't want you to feel alone if you're dealing with anxiety. It is the most common mental issue in the United States right now, and 18% of Americans, I think the statistic is 40 million adults are dealing with anxiety. And with all the things going on in our world right now, I understand why. But it doesn't have to be like that for you. It doesn't have to be overwhelming to go to the park or to a place. It doesn't have to be a daily factor in your life. And for me, it took a lot of prayer, a lot of counseling, medication, and learning how to work with my body and with my mind to overcome that. Now, I'm not saying that it's 100% gone, that you'll never ever experience anxiety again at all. What I am saying is, after this chat, you're going to have tools in your tool belt to pull from and to say, you know what, right now, this tool is going to work well. Right now, this tool is going to work well. And you have to decide how to use them in that moment. Okay? So let's talk about some of the tools. Anxiety is like a circuit, like the lights on in my house right now. The reason that is working is because the switch is on. So it has a drawbridge that's down, and it's letting the electricity go through to that light. It's making this nice circuit, and so the light can stay on. But when you go to flip the off switch, what happens is it's kind of like a drawbridge. It raises the drawbridge up. So when this circuit comes around the electricity, it's like, oh shoot, I can't turn the light on. It breaks the circuit. That's what we have to do with anxiety, is interrupt the circuit. Because you guys know how it goes. It's like you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. And then you think, oh my goodness, something's wrong. And then you start worrying, and then you can't breathe more, or whatever it is. And it's this circuit that we get into, and we have to find a way to break the circuit. I'm sorry, this smoke is like... It's like smoking a lot. But we have to find a way to break the circuit for anxiety. I'm going to give you 5 ways today to do that. Actually 6. There is a bonus way. But the first thing that we can do to break the anxiety, we interrupt anxiety with gratitude. And for this, I bought these little hands for you. These are some little hands, belong to my great-grandma. They're very heavy. They're bookends, but I always think of them when I think of a posture of gratitude. They're little like praying hands, but I always think we can also be like, thank you so much. Now here's the thing about our thoughts, is that the science shows us that every thought is either rooted in love or fear, but it cannot be rooted in both. So if you have a fear thought, it's not rooted in love. If you have a love thought, you can't think of both at the same time, right? So what can happen is if we take our thoughts and we're beginning to feel fearful about something, but we stop the circuit by having a thought of gratitude. So for instance, maybe you're worried about your child going off to college or going somewhere by themselves or that first time they drive off. We can stop that fear by saying, I think I'm going to be thankful for the fact that they want to be independent. I'm going to be thankful for the fact that they want to drive. I thank you that they're going to be safe, and I thank you that they're going to come back home. And so we can begin to be grateful for that and drive out that fear. One great way to do that is an anxiety journal. No, not an anxiety journal. A gratitude journal. Just bullet point 3 things that you're grateful for at the end of the day, and that's going to help you look for things to be grateful for. So that's one way to interrupt anxiety. The second way to interrupt anxiety is your voice. Your voice is powerful. Your voice is powerful. And if you think of having a saying, some people call it a mantra or a life saying, find something that means something to you. So for instance, maybe fear is false evidence appearing real. Maybe your mantra is do it afraid. Maybe your mantra is a song like ain't nothing gonna break my stride. You know, you're gonna find that thing. Maybe it's a worship song that you put on, that you're gonna find that thing that gets your mind in the right place, and it's something you can say to yourself. Now, here's something very important about using your voice. When you read something silently, you're using one sense, right? You're using your eyesight. But when you speak it out loud, you are tripling the effect because you're reading it with your eyesight, you're saying it with your voice, and you're also hearing it with your ears. So I encourage you to have something that you can say out loud. For me, because I'm a faith-filled person, I had a scripture, and I posted it on my wall, on my mirror in the bedroom. And it's that one that says, though my heart and my flesh may fail, God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. I'll find you the number on that one. But I would say that over and over, though my heart and my flesh may fail, God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. I knew my body was failing me badly, just badly. But I had to go beyond what my body was doing into God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. For me, that is the thing that became my saying, my verse, my mantra, if you will. And you have to find something that means something to you so that you can do that. All right, the next thing is logic. And I picked this because logical people use calculators to me. But logic, sometimes we just have to stop and think about it. It's like on Big Hero 6 when he's shaking him upside down. He's like, use that big brain of yours and see the world in a different way. Sometimes we just have to stop and think about it. So for instance, I was at the dentist a couple of days ago. I had to get this whole thing in here numbed because I had a cavity between my 2 front teeth, and I floss, you guys. I floss every day for a long time, but I got a cavity somehow in between there. And so they had to numb this, and all of a sudden I feel like I can't breathe. And I'm starting to, like panic a little bit. And then I realized, it's because I can't feel my nose. I couldn't feel my nose, and I couldn't feel the air coming in. I could breathe. It just took me a second to realize I can't feel my nose. Okay, it's okay. I'm breathing. I'm getting air. It's fine. Or, for instance, if you are ever in, like, let's say an airplane and it's turbulent, and this is an example in the book, and they are saying, all the pilots ahead of us have said it's going to be turbulent, so just expect that. Guess what? You can relax because now you know that all of the pilots have landed, that all of them have said it's going to be turbulent, and they arrived safely, so the chances are that you're going to arrive safely. We can use logic to interrupt that circuit of anxiety. Or for instance, think about this. One time I was at the store and I was about to have a panic attack, honestly, and I'm not exaggerating, because I felt like everybody in the produce section was looking at me, okay? So I called my husband. I'm like, babe, I'm about to have a panic attack. And he's like, why? What's wrong? I said, I think everybody in the produce section is looking at me. And as soon as I said that out loud, I was like, that was the dumbest reason to have a panic attack ever, because number one, are they all looking at me? No, let's use logic. Number two, So what if they were looking at me? It doesn't matter. It's that harmful to me? No. Is it gonna affect me in any way? No. So we have to sometimes use logic to get past anxiety. Right, so we got gratitude, interrupt with your voice, interrupt with logic. All right, I got one more. Those have all been kind of mental ones. This is about your body. I want you to interrupt your anxiety with relaxation and meditation. And sometimes we can work so hard to get control of our mind, but we don't work on our body. It all works together, body, mind, and soul, you guys. We have to work on all of the aspects of being healthy. And so one thing that we can learn is some exercises. So for instance, when I went to therapy, they taught me one that I still use today. They had me lay down. And sometimes I use this when I'm going to sleep, and it's a simple thing. You just relax your pinky toe. And then you leave your pinky toe relaxed, and you relax the next toe. And then you leave those two, and you relax the third toe. So you start at your pinky toe, relax your foot. You get all the way up to the foot. And then you're like, okay, I'm gonna relax my lower leg and my foot. And you're keeping all of this relaxed all the while you're moving up the entire body, and you're beginning to relax your entire body purposefully, focusedly. You're relaxing your entire body. That's one way to help you relax. The second way is to do some deep breathing. I was having to do this at the dentist, you guys, the other day, because you got your mouth wide open and all these tools in your mouth, and you're trying to breathe through your nose, but I was having to do it. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold it for a few seconds. Exhale through the mouth. I wasn't exhaling through my mouth because I was at the dentist, but I was exhaling through my nose. But I was having to do deep breathing in the seat. But it helps. Deep breathing helps your body to relax. You can also use a meditation. Even there's apps like Headspace. I love Headspace app for learning how to meditate, learning how to be conscious of your body and where it is in the surroundings. And half the time when I do it, I fall asleep. Yeah, anyway, learning how to meditate, learning how to relax your body is really important. Also, the other thing about your body is don't put in it things that make you feel anxious, okay? So if I go to Starbucks or Pete's or whatever, and the barista accidentally gives me a caffeinated coffee, I know because I feel like I can't breathe. Now I'm like, okay, I have caffeine. I understand that, and I can't get a deep breath, and that's okay. But before, that would send me into total anxiety because I can't breathe, what's wrong? But now I know, okay, that's how caffeine affects me. Alcohol affects some people that way. Sugar crashes in your blood sugar going up and down can affect the way that your body handles anxiety and stress. Get something that's gonna help you maintain your blood sugar really well and really evenly. That's a lot of the product that you see out there right now is helping to do that. So get something that's going to help you keep your blood sugar even. And I'm not paid by any of them. I don't even use those products, but it is something that I have learned about myself. So I have to work on that. So yeah, work on your body. Don't show yourself movies. If you're afraid of traveling or war or intense movies, don't show yourself those kind of movies. If you, like Miranda and Damien can watch all kinds of movies that I can't. They're just too intense for me and they make me feel anxious. So I just don't watch them. So guard what you put in your mind, guard what you put in your heart, guard what you put in your body, and treat your body well that way. Okay, the last one is this. You might be wondering, why are you holding a thermometer? The last way that we can interrupt anxiety has to do with other people, and it has to do with trusting someone else. One thing that I realized when I had panic disorder was that my body thermostat was not accurate. I felt scared of things that I shouldn't have been scared of. I felt things that weren't there. I had things in my mind that weren't true. And I started realizing that my body is a bad thermometer. My body is lying to me. It's not telling me the truth. So how can I really take a reading on what's going on? And what I started doing was I started leaning on somebody else to be my thermometer. So I started leaning on Damien. I started trusting him more than I trust my own body. So I wake him up in the middle of the night and I'd be like, do you smell something? Or, he'd be like, no. Okay, all right, I don't either. And I go back to sleep and I'd wake him up. I'd be like, can you breathe right now? Yes, okay, I can breathe too. Or, hey, are you worried about that white van that's parked down the street? Nope. Okay, I'm not worried about it either. And I started leaning on his thermometer because I knew that his way of seeing the world was a more accurate way of seeing the world than I was. And I was like kind of messed up, you know, my mind was playing tricks on me. So I had to start leaning on his thermometer. I had to trust someone more than I trusted myself. And I know that's hard to do sometimes, but I would say trust is maybe one of the one of the ways that we can interrupt anxiety is by beginning to trust other people and using them as a thermometer for what's going on in the world instead of using ourselves, because our bodies trick us, our minds trick us, don't they? Our hearts trick us, our emotions trick us. And the last way that we can interrupt anxiety, if you're a faith-filled person, is by your faith. I mean, because come on, let's just talk about the worst possibility. If you are dying, but you're a faith-filled person, then what? Then what? You end up okay, right? Let's go to the worst place. You end up okay. And so I just want to encourage you with that. If you have faith and you believe in the Bible and you believe in those verses, I want to encourage you to speak them over yourself, to draw on your faith. Use the shield of faith that extinguishes the fiery darts of the enemy, right? Hold up that shield of faith and believe and trust and know that you're going to be okay and you're going to get through to the other side of this. And that was a huge weapon for me as well, was faith. So, well, I hope that helps somebody out. I went on my website and made my free ebook, or my ebook, free for everybody. You can go download it. It is what I just talked about, more in depth, and I hope that it helps somebody out there get free from anxiety and have some tools that you can use, some practical tools that you can use to stop that cycle when it comes, because you're the one that's going to have to stop it. You got to stop it here. You got to stop it in your body. And those are some of the ways that you can keep from letting anxiety jump in your driver's seat. Well, if you're dealing with anxiety, I just want to tell you that my heart goes out to you. It is very difficult and it's tough. It's really tough, but you're going to make it through this, and there is hope. You're going to make it through to the other side, and you're going to live a full and beautiful and blessed life. So, well, I hope you have an amazing weekend, and go live your big, amazing, beautiful lives. I love you.